Hello precinct, I want to report a speeding violation. We're looking for a green compact with a particular bad engine, probably a Japanese make.
It's got a Wyoming plate. 1712.
Yeah, it's far easier to identify anything by using a unique identifier, like a license plate. If you use that identifier, you can lift all the required information, like the make of a car, its color, and even its owner. Now let's take this piece of uBasic Ford code. Now that it's complete. All ifs are nicely matched by end if statements, which is pretty much required. You can just leave any ifs just hanging in thin air by themselves. In uBasic you can identify any piece of code by giving it a name, a unique identifier. We call that a label. A label consists of an underscore and a sequence of upper and lowercase characters. Let's call this one guess. At the end, you place a return statement. And then you simply sandwich the code between them. That's all to it. That's what we call a procedure. So what are the rules here? Let's just walk them through. The identifier must begin with an underscore. It's followed immediately by a set of upper and lowercase characters. And note that case is significant here. An identifier with an all caps guess is different from an identifier with a lowercase guess, or a mixed case guess for that matter. You can't use any spaces or special characters. At some point you will get an error, or worse, create a bug. You can use an identifier only once, define it twice, and you will get an error. This identifier is used to identify a piece of code, and in that context it's called a label. The block of code that is identified by that label is called a subroutine. There are two kinds of subroutines, as we will see later on. This kind is called a procedure. It executes a limited, well-defined set of statements. Just like an airline pilot has to perform some procedures before taking off. Next question is, we got a very nice procedure now, but how do we execute it? Well, we can agree it's a procedure, and it's got a label. So what do you think of proc guess? Is that easy enough to remember? Does that make sense? By the way, when you execute a procedure by referring to its label, that's called calling guess or making a call to guess, or whatever label you attach to your procedure. So let's see how we can happily apply procedures to our guessing game. This is the program as we left it last time. You can clearly see that our two guesses contain the very same code. Now, that can become a problem if we want to change that code. We'd have to change it twice. Here we turn that piece of code into a procedure. You see it is exactly the same as I've shown you in the presentation. Now let's see how that affects our main program. Well, it's been reduced significantly. Only two calls are left of that long piece of code. And of course the code dedicated to our final guess. Can we turn that part in a procedure? Read my lips. Any complete piece of code. It's not required that we call it multiple times, so yes, let's get rid of our final guess code by turning it into a procedure. And here it is. Nicely commented. Now let's see. Our main program has been reduced to only 5 lines. And note how wise it is to always terminate your program with end. Because what would happen if we had not terminated it right there and then? No, the label itself wouldn't stop it. It would happily continue and ask you for another guess. Of course, once it reached return, there would be an issue. And it would result in an error. Because return doesn't like it when it is invoked without being called. Now you say, we still got that line asking for a guess. And that line is the same in both guess and end game. Could we turn that into a procedure? Sure, go crazy. Knock yourself out. It's completely valid to call a procedure from procedure. And that's a wrap. So what have we learned? You can turn just about any piece of code into a procedure. And that just about means, yes, you still have to honor that blocks of code concerning if, else, and if form one single indivisible unit. You start a procedure by giving it a unique name, a so-called label, and that label consists of an underscore followed by a bunch of upper and lowercase characters. And don't forget, you can't use spaces or any other special characters in the label. You finish your procedure with a return statement, always. A procedure is a kind of mini program that you can use multiple times. You execute it by using a proc statement, followed by its full label, underscore included. And yes, you can make as many procedures as you like. You can even call procedures from other procedures. And if you do it well, your main program will become pretty short. Don't forget to end it though, otherwise execution may spill into your procedures. And that's not what you want. And again, we've reached the end of the line here.